You sent us a CD. It sounds great. Is it called Fuse?
Yes, it is, and thanks. It's great to hear some positive feedback.
Well, I've been listening to it all weekend, I have to say.
Good.
Came in on Friday.
A party CD.
Party CD, indeed. It's a mixed bag, you might say. Is Fuse the name of the album or the name of the group?
It's the name of the album because it's a compilation album. Part of, I suppose, what the students get involved in is picking the name of the album, what they feel represents what the album's going to maybe sort of sound like. And that's normally where they come up with the theme, I suppose.
Okay, and who was involved?
Main people that will say who are running this project would be what we would call Year 2 students who are studying music and media production. So some of them would have been in the college maybe for up to 3 years, some of them for 2, depending on where they came from. So it's really all the students. Now, in addition to the students who are on that particular course, it would be, all the acts that are on the album are really students or linked to the college in some way. So sometimes there'll be sort of people who mightn't be students at the moment, but were maybe, playing like as session musicians on some of the tracks, if you like.
And what was the objective of making the album?
The objective, I tell you, it's never changed since the beginning. Next year will be its 10-year anniversary.
Yes, please, 10-year anniversary.
10-year anniversary.
Have you made 10 albums?
So, no, there was 1 or 2 years because we changed courses a little bit that we didn't put out a couple of albums. 7th one, I would think, at this stage. But going back to the objective was always and is still to give students the opportunity to see what the music industry is like in sort of a real-life capacity, and that's the major objective, the primary objective that was set, I suppose, 9 years ago, and is still exactly the same objective.
And what do the musicians learn through their project?
Well, there's loads, because I suppose starting at the beginning in terms of, what do they learn? They learn every aspect that's, attached to that. So from, the actual cover, the design of it, the technical specifications that are required for, CD covers and what they call the on-body on the CD itself. From the very basic, some people, because they were here last year, would have, wrote songs over the summer and they would have demoed them. And those demos then would have went through what we'd call the A&R process, which is the process which selects the songs that are going to be released as singles and also songs that are going to be released on the album. So they do that, and once they go from that stage, it's, they mix the album, they produce it, and Patrick Wall is the teacher who would have co-produced, if you like, or, made sure the students were going the right direction in terms of production qualities on the album. So in addition to that then, when they go through all that process of the mixing, producing, the design of the album, then it moves on to where they're at now, which is the promotion of the album. So this is looking at putting on events, whether there are events like in the canteen or, when the album comes out on Friday, they're doing an in-store in Tower Records in Dublin. And the following Tuesday, they have the Red Bull DJ ambulance coming out here, which is a kind of a 1940s Dodge that converts into a DJ station. It's pretty cool. So, it's everything from the sort of the writing to the recording, the mixing, the producing, the design of, to the promoting, and hopefully then that it turns into a success commercially. Well, we've been very lucky in the past when the students had put it out, like last year's album, which was called Native, reached number 4 on the Irish compilation charts.
Oh, wow,
So,
well done.
Huge achievement, They're always hoping to build on that success, working on a project, and even though the music industry is far from all about the charts, it's always nice to see something that they've worked on for the last 6 months, or in some cases over a year, appearing in the charts.
A question. What is the own body?
The on-body, yeah, that's the appearance, the CD, when you take it out of the CD case,
okay.
How it looks, that's what they refer to that as the on-body in
thank
desktop
you.
publishing terms. Or at least that's what they tell me.
All right. Thanks a million for telling me. And the partnership with Nielsen Music Control, how is that going? Who are Nielsen Music Control?
Nielsen Music would be part of Nielsen, who would be a global market research company. Now, Nielsen Music would be the people who would issue the airplay charts in Ireland. So what they would do is they would kind of, if you like, get all the music that's released. They would put it on a database. They would monitor the airways, and when they hear songs that have been playing, this is what, makes up the top 100 airplay charts. So that's one of the things that they do. Of course, to be able to do the top 100 airplay charts, they then, obviously have to know what station's playing what songs at given time periods. So what they've done for us in this deal is they allow our music, they allow the DFEi music students, they monitor their tracks and they allow them access to see who's playing the songs. So it's great for another sort of market research insight into how that part, the very important part of getting your songs on the radio, how that part works. And that's really thanks largely to the foresight of Phelan Byrne in Nielsen Music. So that's kind of our partnership with Nielsen at the moment. It's great.
Good learning opportunity.
Always the objective is that they leave with, they've been exposed to the opportunity if they wanted to see what the industry's like. I mean, education is phenomenal and it's fantastic and it's great to have, your qualifications and your piece of paper, but ultimately, if they want, they can grasp the opportunity that when they're talking to people out there in the industry or if somebody wants them to put out a record for them, they'd understand a lot of stuff that doesn't come up even in textbooks or even normal classes, things like each song has to be issued an ISRC code, which helps for tracking in terms of the airplay charts I mentioned and other royalties. So they really understand how the industry works.
Okay.
That's really what they leave with. That's if they want to get involved,
Practical wisdom then, is that?
Very much so, yeah.
Great, great. And has the product changed much from year to year?
Well, nowadays, in the beginning we didn't put out singles. So due to iTunes and other digital platforms like 7 Digital, it allows us to, literally put out, music, globally. And now, even though I've said that, we still do release very short-run, limited versions of physicals. So when we put out radio single, like the first track on the album there, Steve Dorn and Emma Curry, which was produced by Sarah Mulcrone from Mayo, as it happens, that particular song was put out as a radio single, so we did up a limited run of 150 copies of that, just to send it out to make it easy and accessible for radio, rather than just sending sort of links and MP3s and that kind of thing. So that's changed. We wouldn't have done that in the past. The amount and the diversity of the events that we run has probably changed. We do, in the beginning, in the early days, we probably really just did the album launch. Now we do, in stores and album launches. As I said, we have the Red Bull Transformer DJ Ambulance coming out next week. So we would probably put more events on, which is representative of where the music industry is at, and that's where money is generated in the live side rather than the recorded side nowadays.
How can people get to hear it? I have the press release here with information given to me, I suppose, but can you tell our listeners how they get to hear the CD if they
Of course. Well, if they want to even get previews of how it sounds, they can go on to iTunes, and whilst you can't buy it yet because it doesn't go live until Friday, you can listen on iTunes to I think it's 30-second snippets that they put up on our DFEi YouTube channel. You'll find that there's 4 videos put up there for the 4 singles. So there's a few options there that they can hear it. And of course, at all the live things that we're running, the likes of the in-store, we have the album launches. The in-store is this Friday in Tower Records, the 12th of April, and then following Thursday, the 18th of April, I believe all the acts are going to be playing at the Pint, which is the official launch party on the Quays in Dublin.
Okay, great. And Sarah Mulcrone, who helped produce track 1 on the CD, she's from Westport, County Mayo. Is she there with you, John?
She's with me here.
Hello.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Kathy. How are you?
Hi, very well, thanks. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Thanks for coming on.
No problem.
Did you enjoy doing it?
I did. I learned a lot from it as well. The whole recording aspect of a song, there's a lot more involved than people kind of think. So I learned a lot in that respect. And just even in the recording studio, there's a lot to do in there with setting up all the equipment and the mics for the vocals, all the different instruments and stuff like that. And then when you're that done, you're in the mixing, editing room. So you're there with the desk and you have to control all the levels. There's a lot involved, but the end product, I was really happy with it. It's a really good song.
Well done, as I say, it is a great song. I thought so also. From Mayo yourself?
I am, yeah, I'm from Westport. This is my second year in DFEi.
Okay, and
outside the recording studio areas, with promoting music and just the whole business side of it, I learned a great lot this year. It's all hands-on for us.
Great. Thanks very much, Sarah.
Thanks, Kathy.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.